Okay, so this is the persuasive speech. And so for the persuasive speech, what I want you to do is I actually want you to go and try to actually persuade the audience to do something. Think about it. You have to persuade an action. I don't know why. People get tripped up on this. You have to have an action. So you should go adopt a dog. You should, go to this protest. We should get rid of gas cars. We should keep gas cars, Um, we should we should adopt we should adopt a kid instead of buy one, not buy one. You don't buy kids, instead of have them, right? We should provide free birth control. We should free healthcare. We should um, make abortion illegal. We should make abortion legal, right? Federally, right? We should, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. I had one student who talked about, like, um, why we should update, certain laws about like assault and things like that. Whatever it is, right? Whatever you want your topic to be, it's perfectly fine. But you have to persuade an action. Like, what could the government do, right? Not just, dogs are better than cats, right? That is persuasive, but it is mostly informative because you're informing me about why dogs are better than cats, right? A persuasive, you have to have some sort of action that like I can act on, right? Sure, dogs are better than cats. How can I act on that, right? Get a dog maybe, but it's not clear, right? It's not clear in the inherent topic. So, what is it? Remember, always you need your topics approved, so submit those as soon as you can. 6 to 9 minutes, so it's a little bit longer. You still need a visual aid. 3 to 5 note cards. Now you have 5 sources, right? So 2 more. It's still date, publisher, and date for those, right? And then, then you have to have a quote. That's the only other thing. You have to have a quotation. And you should be saying, according to the New York Times on December 2020, quote, blah, 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 unquote. And that's how you should do it, right? How to quote properly. You can always look at the outline page. Rubric should be available. It still says, and on the outline page, it has an example. This is another student example. This one is from a student I had an international student, and she was asking, hey, obviously you followed Monroe's motivated sequence for this one, and she said, hey, why am I an international student? Why do I have to pay 5 times the amount of tuition to come here and be a part of this? This doesn't make sense to me. Shouldn't Americans and colleges want international students? Like, doesn't that make the college better that you have a more diverse, you have more diverse ideas on campus? And so that was kind of their thing, right? About how, like, what percentage of students, and should you study abroad? Probably should. Probably good for you if you can. I know in some countries they force you to study abroad. So for if you're in the EU, you're actually colleges will pay for I think it's pay for 1 year, or it's very cheap to go 1 year to study abroad. I mean, it's supposed to be required so you can learn another language, and you're guaranteed to basically understand 2 languages by the time you get a bachelor's degree, which is pretty cool. So yeah, just whatever you want to talk about, whatever applies to your life. Submit an outline. I'll give you feedback on the outline, and then you do the speech. Okay. Besides that, if you have any questions, let me know.